Today's class is all about how to raise a reader, and I assure you that if you take action after this class, you are definitely going to transform your children who don't like to read into eager readers. All you need to do is to watch this video from the beginning to the end, and afterwards take action. My name is Enime Orebo, and this is Parenting with Enime Orebo. I am the founder of the Visionary Parent Academy, where we empower parents to learn parenting for themselves and be confident enough to empower other parents to actually parent with confidence. So let's go into what we have today: how to raise a reader. The first question is, why do children not like to read? Yes, very many children do not like to read. And why is that so? And the simple answer will be because reading is not fun. It is boring, and it is really difficult for very many children. You want to agree with me that, oh, you too, you don't enjoy tasks that are boring. You don't enjoy them when they are difficult. So hey, so you cut these children some slack. When it's boring, when it's difficult, they do not like to read too. And most times we present reading to be boring and to be difficult. Now compare reading to some of their favorite activities, which is watching television. Television is easy. It is fun. Shows pictures, children are dancing, children are talking, they're doing all sorts of fun things, they are moving about, they are seeing movement. And then television is not a task. Put it on with your remote control. You slouch on the couch and you are pressing your remote control, and the whole thing is giving you what you want. Yes, it's easy, and then it's fun. So they absolutely enjoy watching TV as against reading. So the first thing we want to do is, for your child to love reading, you want to make reading fun, and you want to make it easy. You want to make reading fun, and you want to make reading easy. One of the mistakes I made when I wanted to introduce reading to my children, wanted them to take reading seriously, was going to get random books. Now, the first thing I want to tell you is start early. That's one thing I didn't do. I didn't start early. So the very first thing you want to do is to start early. Start early with them so that as they grow older, it becomes a second nature. So now one of the first things I did was to go get random books. I just went to the market, I got books for them, and those books were not easy. Then it was my son, he was about 5 or thereabout. Those books were not easy for him to pronounce. They had big words, they were unfamiliar, and it was just boring to him. It was not easy for him to read it. So the very second thing you want to do, the first thing I said, start early. The very second thing you want to do is to make it easy. You are going to get books with simple tests they can easily pronounce and read. You know, there is motivation in wins. There is motivation in victory. It's just not rocket science. It's common sense. When you do something, you defeat it, you win it, you are motivated to do more. So if your child can read a particular book fluently, it's easy for your child to say, oh, grab another one. They're not struggling through it. They're not racking their heads. It's not just like it's a difficult task for them. So it's easy for them to just enjoy books with simple text, and then they want to read other books with simple text. So the second thing you want to do, aside starting early, is to buy books with simple texts. Now the next thing you want to do is make it short. A lot of parents will do this thing. Oh, we want our children to read from morning till night. Read. Really? Nah. Don't pressure them. Don't make it boring. Just make it short. Children, they have their attention span, short attention span. You just check it out. How long? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, depending on the age of the child. And that is how much they can stay on a task. So if you expect your child to stay longer than their attention span, it is going to be pressure on them. It is going to be boring. So it is not going to be interesting at all. So you want to make it short. And how you can make it short is you either use a timer or you assign pages or lines or something. I don't really use timers. I prefer pages. Can read 2 pages, 3 pages, that is fine. So you want to set a goal. Like, okay, I want you to read for 5 minutes. I want him to read for 10 minutes. Just introduce it gradually. You know, when you want to introduce, learn a new habit, you want to start with your baby steps, with taking baby steps. So you actually want your child also to take baby steps. Just don't expect them to read one big textbook. No, have them start small. A page a day, 2 pages a day, 3 pages a day. I have a book, How to Raise a Voracious Reader. It is going to be very helpful at this point because I actually have goals, stages, the easy one, the moderate one, the difficult one, and the very difficult one. You make them start reading a page a day, 2 pages a day, 3 pages a day, 4 pages a day, and they graduate. So making them reading small. As they're reading it small, they are getting interested in it. For that, you can choose to buy a book, maybe that has many pages. So you just tell them, okay, read 2-3 pages. Now, it's a long story. Now, because the story has not ended, they will be curious. They want to know what happens next. It can actually motivate them to keep reading that. Now, another thing to make reading easy for your child is to start with familiar topics, a topic they are already used to. So you get a book that revolves around that topic. It can be their favorite cartoon story. It can be a topic, and maybe a story you have shared with them before, something they are familiar with. You know, when they are reading it, they are getting, and all of that is actually going to interest them and motivate them to read. And another thing you want to do to make it easy is to use audiobooks. Yes, you either have them listen to audiobooks or you have them read along with the audiobook. That is always fun, interesting for them. So audiobooks are everywhere. You can get audiobooks, you get the hard copy, and you get the audiobook, and they read along with the audiobook. Now, these are some of the ways you can actually make it easy for them. You can think of other ways, get creative, or get other creative ways to make reading easy for your child. Now, the next thing is how to make reading fun. The first thing you want to do is, the first mistake I made again was going to get books for my children. I started getting this transformation when I took my children to pick up books for themselves. We went book shopping and they pick books that actually interest them. So that is the first thing you want to do to make it fun. Get books that interest them, topics they like, because you may get topics that you like for them and it's not a topic they like and it becomes boring, interesting. Let me ask you, if you're a banker, what business do you have with medical books or law books? You know, if not that, maybe you just need to know your rights, or you need to know about your health and all of that. What it concern books on medicine and law? The same thing happens to your child. I'm sure they bore you. Yes, they bore me. All those jargons they speak, they bore me. The same thing happens to your child. So when you have a book that doesn't interest them, especially when you want your children to develop a reading habit, I know you actually want them to be versatile, have an idea about everything, but it will get to that. Like I told you, it is in stages. Stage by stage. A stage will come where they'll be curious and they want to read up everything. But for now that you are trying to introduce them to reading, having them cultivate the reading habit, you want to make sure that you get books for them that meet their interests. And one way to do that is to take them for book shopping. You want to shop for books, have your kids go with you. Let them pick books that actually align with their interests. Now, another thing you want to do is to get engaging books. Now, remember I said everyone has different attention span. Now, apart from that, every child has different learning style. There are children who are hands-on learners, like they like to learn by touching. So those children, when you are introducing reading to them, you just don't give them one book and have them stay and read it. No. They will be bored. It will not be fun to them. So what you want them to do, you want to give them books that they can actually answer. Maybe ask them to, my 6-year-old, one of the things I do now, because of his short attention span, I don't give him big books to read like this. We have comprehension books that he reads. He's reading stories, he's learning vocabulary, he's developing his reading skills, and he is also reading, developing interest in reading. So he has comprehension passages that books on comprehension will give him, like 5 pages. Read and answer the questions. That is it. So make it engaging, especially for your hands-on learners. You want to introduce reading to them, make it engaging. Just don't buy books with tests all over. Buy books that they can actually like interact with the books. There are answers and there are question sessions. They want to put answers down. get that for your interactive, especially interactive learners or hands-on learners, so to make reading interesting for them. Come close, let me explain this to you. See, never ever make book come in the way of fun. Yes, it becomes a killjoy. Nobody likes it. We do not like it. Children do not like it. It's one of the strategies my dad used when we were growing up. You know, kids are having fun, they are playing, giggling and all about, and the next thing say, everybody get into your room and pick your books and read. How do you like you are having fun, the time of your life, and someone comes with a different thing? Nah, you're not going to like it. The same thing happens when you actually want to use book as punishment. Go and read as punishment. When your child is having the time of their life and you are saying go and read, book is coming in the way of fun. It is not going to make your child love reading. We are talking about how to make it fun. Make it fun. Your child doesn't love reading. They love fun. There are fun activities they love, and reading is not part of it. And now you are not seeing making reading come in the way of fun. It's counterproductive. So don't ever let reading come in the way of fun. And in order to achieve this, you want to structure their reading. There's a time for reading. There's a place for reading. Structure it. It can be, okay, after bedtime is reading. First thing in the morning is reading. Just create a particular time for reading and make it consistent. It is called structure. Have a time in their room. Have reading table or anything you want to have in their room. Reading tables, reading chairs, have them there, and have a particular time for reading. You also want to remind them with cues. They know that already. They'll get used to it. For example, your cue can be after bathing, wear your pajamas, and the next thing is to read yourself to sleep. That is something. So the child knows that after bathing, the next thing is for them to go and read. So again, just don't spring reading from nowhere. No, it is not how to help your child fall in love with reading. It is counterproductive. Another thing to do is make reading have a meaning. That's the information they are getting from the books they are reading. The information should have a meaning. For example, your child is reading something. They should be able to relate it to reality. Even if they can't readily relate it to reality, then be that reality they can relate it to. Come and have them talk to you about what they are reading. Or they can explain to you what they are reading, and you just help them take it as a teachable moment to explain reality to them. That way, they are seeing that it is not just a waste of time. It's not just because you want them to read to punish them, or you just want them to get off your back. It's actually for their own good. You relate it to reality. You explain to them. There are very amazing books you can easily always give your children to read, that you can get teachable moments from them. So when they are reading, have them talk to you about what they are reading. Like, make it interactive. You talk to me about what you're reading. Maybe after reading a particular book, you create a summary. Then you come back and share with me what you have read, and we talk about it. So your child will be looking forward to that. It can be, okay, bedtime. Like I said, you create a structure, a routine for it. So it can be bedtime. It's time for our book review. The book we read today, it's time for the review. So your child will look forward to that time. So they want to read. They want to come to at bedtime. They want to explain to you what they have read, and then after that, they read another one, because they know that tomorrow, bedtime again, they are going to have something to talk to you about. And then you help them relate what they are learning to realities. There are so many. I'm just trying to remember one of such right now. I remember my kids reading this book, You Have a Brain by Ben Carson, and they have a lot of stories in it they come to share with me, and I also tell them, okay, this is it. We relate it to reality. We elaborate on the stories. They even have something that, oh, really, you know, those kind of things. It makes it look realistic to them. It makes them know that, okay, they're actually learning something that they are applying in their life. So you want to make books, whatever they are acquiring from the book, whatever they are learning from the books, you want to make it relatable. Now, another thing you can do to make book reading fun for children is for them to have it as an opportunity to connect with friends. For example, you have a reading group, they have reading buddies, they can join reading clubs where they read and, you know, they review their books. They are great ways to motivate children to read. they learn presentation from there, they learn to review books from there, they meet people. It can be online, it can be offline. There are very many online right now going on. You can take advantage of that, and they assign books. Your child read the book, and at the end of the day, they come at the assigned time, and they all share what they have learned together. So it's helpful to help your child pick interest in reading and even speaking. There are very many ways you can make reading fun for your child. You can host a book reading challenge in your house, like everyone read this book, and at the end of the day, you can host a book review where the books read, they come together, they review the books. You can do book swap. Okay, you have this book, your friend has this book, you exchange, you read and read. That is very helpful, especially when you have teenagers. I did that a lot when I was growing up. I had a friend who was a fast reader. She was a faster reader than me, and we always exchange books, and it helped me a great deal. You can actually do that. You can have them act out a character in the book they have read. You can have them dress as a character in the book they have read. It's just, there are so many ways to make books fun for children. So I have a book that is coming. It is How to Help Your Child Excel in School. How to help your child excel in school. You know, from good to excellence. How to help your child excel in school. I am going to be sharing a lot about reading. A lot. It's a whole book, a comprehensive book. It's going to start from learning styles. Yes, it's important you understand your child's learning styles. It's going to go into how to help your child fall in love with reading. It's going to go into how to motivate your child academically, not just reading any book now, towards the academic path. It is going to talk about helping learners, different types of learners, less slow learners, forgetful learners. It's going to capture every single thing you need to actually help your child excel in school. It's a book that I have been researching on. I've thought a lot into this book because over time, I have had the need to help my children excel in school. I've had the need to learn to get tools, learn strategies to help my children excel in school. So I have invested so much in researching this, and it is going to be worth your reading at the end of. Then it's going to be just for a token when it's out eventually. Hopefully, it's going to be out before the end of September. So you can start your pre-orders now. It's just 2,000 naira for the book. You can start your pre-order now, and is an e-book, so you get it immediately it is out. So I'll encourage you to look forward to that book. However, to help your child fall in love with reading, what you need is 1, make it fun, 2, make it easy, and 3, no pressure. Lastly, you want to model reading. Yes, you want to model reading. You want your children to see fun in reading. You read, it's fun for you to read, it's easy for you to read. You love reading. While they watch you read, they learn from you. That is the next thing, or rather the last thing I'd like to share with you today. I have a lot. I could actually go about all the ways to make reading fun for your child that I know, but hey, I don't want this video to be too long, so you just expect the ebook, you get it, and you can go everywhere or anywhere with the information you have. And don't forget to thank me later, like I said. So I assure you that if you put everything I've shared here today into use, your child is going to fall in love with reading. If you make it easy, if you make it fun, and you take the pressure away from it, trust me, your child is going to fall in love with reading. This is something I practiced. This is something I did, and it worked 100% for me. And it's something I've suggested to very many parents, over 100 parents, and it has worked perfectly for them. Lastly, I forgot to mention, you should reward. When you set reading goals, like, okay, read a page a day, 2 pages a day, 3 pages a day, that is reading goals. And when they achieve their goals, what you want to do, you actually want to reward. Now, in this book I'm talking about, there's a template for reading. You want to know, okay, is my child actually reading this book? So you want to have a template like, okay, read 2 pages a day, what you learned from those 2 pages, what is it called, the vocabularies you learned from these 2 pages, the usage of the vocabulary, and your remark generally. Or you can also have something like, okay, change the story, like just to help them get creative with reading. Okay, you read a particular thing, maybe the story didn't end well, you don't like the way the story ended. Okay, change the story, end the story yourself. You know, so many ways actually to make reading fun for children. And again, I said, at the end of the day, when they have achieved their reading goals, what you want to do is to reward them. And there are different ways to reward children. It's not just all about giving them money. That is not reward I'm talking about, really. Other ways to reward your children. I do hope you find this very empowering. If you did, do well to subscribe to this channel, do well to like, do well to share, and do well to invite other parents in this community. So what you want to do is to get the link of this video and put it on your status, your stories, and share in your communities you belong to, your alumni groups, your school, children's school groups, your church communities, everywhere, you know, so that every parent you know around you can also be empowered and we can come together to raise whole children. Thank you so much for watching me today. My name is Edime Orebo, and till next week, bye-bye.